Creating your leading lines collage. So in order to do that, you're going to open up Photoshop first. You're going to go to File and New, or you can hit the little blue button with the white letters here that says File New or New File. Okay. Once you get there, at the very top of your screen here, you're going to have a bunch of preset options. I want you to click on the one that says Print. From there, you're going to select the letter size page. And then over on the right-hand side, you're going to see some options. So it's 8.5 inches by 11 inches high, a resolution of 300, RGB, and a white background. The only thing that you can change here is the orientation, if you want it vertical or horizontal. I'm going to keep mine vertical for now, but you can change it to whatever you'd like. And then you're going to hit Create at the bottom, and you get this new page that pops up. So we have a little bit of experience from the last project with some collage work that we did in Photoshop. But this time what you're going to do is you should, in order to do this project, you should have your 10 photos that I've highlighted in orange for you of all your leading line photos. So what you can do is one at a time, you can take these photos and you can drag and drop them into the white document that you just set up. So I'm going to take one for as an example here, and I'm going to drag it into the white page. Well, once it shows up on the white page like this, you'll see a little X across it, and I'm going to go over to the Move tool at the top of my toolbar here, select the Move tool, and you'll notice that I can still see that bounding box around it, and I can click and I can pull and resize it. Okay. Just as a note, as I try to make it bigger or smaller like this, it's happening proportionately. The height and width are staying, and it's not getting warped, right? It's resizing, but it's not making the width thick and the height too thick and warpy. That's because at the very top of your screen, the width and height are connected with this little link. If this was unchecked and I tried to do the same thing, it would do this. And it would allow me to kind of make a funhouse mirror out of the whole thing and basically warp it. I don't want that. I'm going to undo. I want to make sure that that link is clicked for what I'm doing. But you can turn it off and warp things if you want. If you feel that's going to enhance what you're doing, you can. I'm going to keep my link on so that it works proportionally. Okay, so I have this image. What am I going to do next? I'm going to hit the checkbox up top to OK it. After that, you'll look at your layers panel. You'll notice that your layers panel has the white background and then the picture you brought in on top of it. All right, from there, what you can do is we don't need this to be a smart object at this point. So we're going to right-click on this, and then we are just going to rasterize it. We're going to get rid of that smart object icon, and you see the smart object icon is gone. A great way to work with this particular project is we are going to make this we're going to kind of do reflections and some symmetry work. So to do that, we want to take this layer here and copy this layer. So to copy the layer, you can click on it and drag it down to the plus symbol at the bottom, or you can right click on it and hit duplicate, or you can hit Command J on your keyboard. That all does the same thing. And so I am just going to drag it down here into the new layer button so that you have two of the same thing. So on my screen, it still looks like I have one, but you can see if I take the Move tool and move it, here is the second one that's floating on top. So what I want to do is flip it, right? So you can go to Edit at the top, down to Transform, and over to Flip Horizontal, Flip Vertical, Rotate, all this stuff. I'm going to do Flip Vertical. And you see now it flipped it upside down in this kind of mirrored sort of way, right? So I'm positioning it underneath, like that. Okay, great. So now what that means is that it has a bit of a reflection, which is cool, but these two layers now, this one and this one, it's a little big, right? It's running off the bottom of the page, and I don't want it to. I want to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to select both of these layers at the same time. To do that, I'm going to hold Command on my keyboard. I'm going to click one layer, hold Command, and click the next layer. What I want to do now, because they're both selected, is I can now resize them together because both layers are selected. So I'm going to click and drag to resize. I'm going to kind of move them into the white page here. And the sizing of it is really up to you. I'm going to put one batch of it like here, let's say. All right. And I can go as big as I want. I can go all the way to the top of the page. I can go all the way to the bottom of the page. Some of this is really just your opinion of kind of how you'd like to see it. It looks like I left a little line sort of in between. So I'm going to be sure to take one of these layers and just kind of move it up a little bit so they're really close to each other. There we go. Okay, and then again, I'm selecting both layers. I'll make them a little bigger, a little smaller, however I want. Okay, that looks good. All right, then I get the checkbox up top. So I basically brought in two different images. one different image, I copied it, I flipped it, and so now it looks like this. Okay, great. So what could you do other than that? Well, you can go into any of these layers and you can get rid of the parts that you don't want anymore. So we had used in the first project, we had used the object selection tool and the quick selection tool, I believe. Now, if you, just as a reminder, so quick selection. So I'm on this bottom layer here. So it's the top layer in the layer stack, but it's the bottom picture. And so with that quick selection tool, so that was this one here, quick selection. You go over to that area, you click and you drag, and it makes a selection of the pixels that you drag over. Now, if I hit delete on this, it would get rid of the pixels completely. And that works. You could do that. To get rid of these dots, you could do Command D. Okay, now if I want to do that to the same thing up top here, to this one, I just have to switch layers to the other layer that I have here, this one, and then I could do the same thing. Quick selection, click and drag. I have all that selected. I hit delete. Okay, great. So now what else could you do? Well, you're going to incorporate as many of those images of your 10 as you possibly can. So you're going to go back into your folder, grab a different one, click, drag, drop, same idea, same concept, same steps. Once it comes in like this, hit the checkbox to OK it, go over to your layer, right click on it, rasterize it. Okay, great. Now what do we want to do with this? I'm going to bring it to the top of the stack so you can see it a little better. And then you go to my move tool, decide how big or small it's going to be, decide its position possibly on here. So maybe I'll do like, put it here for now. So besides the, so I'm going to hit OK to OK this. I'm going to hide the layer for a second. On the first one, we copied it and we flipped it so it looks like a mirror. On this second one, and these are all just options for you of things you can do. You don't have to do each one of them. You can combine them in any which way that you'd like. So on this one here, I'm going to try to select out the path. So I'm going to go back to that same tool, the quick selection tool. I'm going to click and drag on the path here. And you'll notice that I got more than I needed. I didn't need all of this, right? So I can go to the subtraction button up top here, and I can subtract back out the parts I do not want. Okay. Good, so that looks pretty good. I don't need it to be perfect right now. This is only a demo, but if you need help making it perfect in class, you let me know. All right, so same thing. Now what happens here is if I was to hit delete now, it would do this. It would get rid of the path. Okay, I don't want that. I'm going to undo. Instead, what I would like to do is I want to inverse this selection. So I'm going to go to the word select at the top, down to inverse, and then I'm going to hit delete. So now I just have the path by itself. So I'm just giving you an example of how you could cut something out, and now you have this piece as a separate piece that you could use anywhere that you'd like. So what could you do with this? Well, you could rotate it, maybe. You could put it somewhere, maybe in the center, maybe in the top corner, somewhere, I don't know. Okay, great. You can make it bigger or smaller. Okay, great. Maybe copy that one now. So drag that layer down to the new layer button. Now we have two of them. Okay, what do I want to do with the second one? Well, maybe I'll do the same thing we did before. Edit, transform, flip horizontal. So now it's going this way. So I want to still allow for the leading lines to lead the viewer's eye into a particular part of the image, right? Like this, let's see. And so this looks okay, interesting. Something interesting is beginning to go on maybe. And again, I can grab one layer, hold Command, grab the other layer, resize them, make them a little bigger, like that, right? And I can kind of position them. So you can resize and reposition any little bit that you'd like. Okay, this is good. Hit the checkbox up top. All right, great. And then you can continue with that same concept of bringing images in, cutting them out, moving them around, rotating them, copying them, flipping them, to get that design, and again, that symmetrical design. So whether the bottom is symmetrical to the top or side to side, or it has a sort of a radial look, almost like the kaleidoscope look that you might see when you look through a kaleidoscope, the same sort of thing you can do and you can continue to do. You can take any layers that you have, like these two I have, And if I copy those two, now I have a set of two, which then I could rotate. And I could resize. And I could move. Right, so everything's kind of leading me down that path, if you will. So you're going to continue the project that way, creating as many leading lines that can kind of connect all at once. Just a little option for you though is that once you start connecting all of these pieces and putting them all sort of together, I'll give you one last example here. So just imagine that this was flipped, right? And then let's say I bring in one more of what you got in here. So same steps, rasterize, look at the whole thing, decide what you'd like to cut out from the piece. You could be very specific about what you cut out also. That's another option for you, where instead of using the quick selection tool, you can try things like the polygonal lasso tool, and that will allow you, has a new selection button up top. You can go over to any of the areas, and let's say you just wanted like this brick. You could go like this, click, 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 and then kind of follow the brick. Right, so if you wanted the fence also, you'd have to come all the way up to here. I'm just giving you a quick example. Everybody's is a little different. So I make that selection, right, of that piece that you see there. If I hit delete, it would get rid of it. That's not what I want. So instead, I want to go to select and inverse, and then I can hit delete. Then there it is. I have it by itself, and then you make a decision, right? You go back to the move tool, and you make a decision. Where is this going to go? Where would you like to put it? Does it make sense here? Does it make sense? This looks pretty good actually right there, maybe. And then the last piece of the whole puzzle is, well, you know, you have all these layers kind of on top of each other. What would it look like if you could see through one of them? So we go to this, change the blending mode here. If you go to this top list that starts with the word normal, you go down the list and you start to be able to see through it in different ways. Okay, so you might find one that's interesting to you that looks good. You can also kind of blend things together by clicking the mask button at the bottom. So that just put a mask on this top layer. And then what you do on that mask, you'll notice that the mask came up. I don't know why. Oh yeah. Okay. So it looks like mask. There we go. So it came here. What it was supposed to do, sorry. It's supposed to come up all white here. So the link on this one with the fence came up as white, and everything still looks exactly the same on my screen until I take a brush with black as my color, make the brush larger, make it softer on the edge, and then I start brushing with that brush over that area. And you can begin to blend, you know, these things together. All right? So we're trying to combine. We'll see how many you can get in there. If you can get all 10 in there, great. If not, you know, 6 to 8, that would be best case, you know, I guess. But 10 would be a top grade if you're able to incorporate all of them. Any color changes is really the last piece of it, which you should know a little bit from what we did with the other collage project, which is you could double click any layer, you could add color overlays, you could change the blending modes, and you could change it to any one of the options that you have in order to incorporate some color into these things. Okay? All right, that's about it. Ask me questions in class if you need in order to put this all together.